question before I start my presentation or my introduction, right? How many of you have lived through an implementation that dragged on for months? Wow. Even with the few people, I see a lot of hands raised here. Now that I asked the question, I will make a statement here, right? What if I told you that SaaS product implementations that usually takes, let's say, around 16 weeks, right? We are now completing it in 6 weeks, just 6 weeks, right? That's what I'm going to talk about in the next 15 minutes. I'm Raj Rajashekar. I'm the CEO of SaaS Genie. So the next, again, 15 to 20 minutes, I would like to talk about how we are rapidly increasing the time to go live, right? Means making it faster, and the implementation timeline overall, making it half. How are we doing it with our purpose-built AI accelerators? And again, we are doing it already. It's not going to be in the future. We are already doing it. We have already more than 300 plus implementations, and our AI accelerators is learning a lot. So I'm going to share a few of the stories today. Why I started SaaS Genie, right? Before coming to the reason, I wanted to tell you my experience. Before starting SaaS Genie last year, I was with Freshworks. I joined Freshworks back in 2017 when the company was around maybe 50 million. And I started the customer onboarding function. And then from the scratch, right, it went down to even 300 professional services team people. I managed the global professional services practice. I left last year, 2024, it was like a 700 million. It gone to public, IPO, all that. So I have seen the journey, the roller coaster ride, right? I would call it blitzscaling, hyperscaling growth, both product ARR side as well as on the PS side, right? I was responsible for the margins, capacity planning, utilization, a lot of stuff which I never thought when I started a customer onboarding function, right? But what I went through is like Freshworks having a multiple products. They have a customer support product, ITSM product, CRM product, and then they are focusing on multiple segments, SMB, mid-market, enterprise, right? So we have gone through plenty of implementations with various sizes, various scenarios, various challenges during the implementation, because the product keep evolving with a lot of lightning speed, a lot of features keep coming, right? The implementation team need to cope up with. So we went through a lot of implementations. But one thing got stuck. Maybe some of you might have gone through that same thing, right? When I look at product, it evolved so much. But when I look at the implementation on the services side, it's always the same. The methodology, the process, the challenges, people problems, it's always the same. There is not a big difference, right? That was a big aha moment for me to come out and doing something different, right? Starting services business, because that's what I know, because I worked for PwC, Deloitte, all my life, I would say 25 plus years on the services business. But now with the AI coming up, and again last year when I was starting, so I really wanted to do the services business with AI accelerators. Wherever we can put some AI accelerators to speed up the implementation and still do a good quality job, not compromise on the quality. So that was the main reason to start SaaS Genie. So basically our deep expertise in the implementation, using that as well as using AI accelerators, that is our secret weapon. That's what SaaS Genie was born. Okay. Somebody's clicking for me. Thank you. I don't know whoever is doing it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, before even talking about these accelerators, I just want to, again, the observation, what I heard so far with my experience doing a lot of implementations. Again, I would say even 10,000 plus implementations during the 7 years across multiple segments, multiple products, right? There are three, I would call it work streams. There are three work streams. I always see a bottleneck or taking more time than the planned one. One of the area is data migration. If the customer is moving from an incumbent SaaS tool to a new SaaS tool, right? The data need to be migrated. I'm talking about more of a transactional data, which is very important for them, very critical. And sometimes some regulations, compliance, like bank or insurance, they want to keep 6 years of their historical data so they don't want to compromise on that. No, definitely they don't want to lose the data, right? So the data migration always takes more time. That is one work stream. The other work stream is the business rules, right? The workflows, configurations, basic configurations. Hey, I have the set of general settings here in this tool, incumbent tool, SLAs, whatever we talk about. Similarly, we have to do it here, right? That keep changing. Sometimes, you know, we need to change this, we need to add this. That section, configuration, most of the time it will go as planned, but still there are changes keep coming on the configuration side. The other area is integration, the other work stream, where the incumbent has already connected with multiple systems. They want to, again, connect the new system with the. So these three work streams where we have seen the timeline, whatever we have planned, it always goes like not as planned, right? So this is the area we wanted to focus on, and we are building accelerators as we speak on the Config Genie and the Integrate Genie. But for the Migrate Genie, we have already started using it. As I mentioned, we are like more than 300 implementation used our Migrate Genie product, which is the tool. And it's not publicly available for customers to use. Our implementation consultants are using it, working with customer, because it's still learning a lot of stuff. How do we do the mapping? How do we do the transformation? I will talk about it. That's my next slide. I think I have the. Okay. So let me introduce our first AI accelerator. Again, this is purpose-built accelerator, mainly for the data migration. And any one of you recently gone through any data migration? Okay, good. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So this data migration has, again, I have seen many of my team members going through sleepless nights to get the data right format for the destination or for the target system, right? In terms of mapping, validation, transformation, formatting, and then doing the test run first, and then going to a cutover plan. There are so many nuances tasks we have in the data migration. And I'm proud to say that there are so many projects we have gone through in the last year and even this year. Using our Migrate Genie, it's taken care of the laborious tasks, right? It's learning a lot from these migrations. It's recommending the right mapping, because I'm just giving an example. If you are moving from ServiceNow to, let's say, Fresh Service, or even Maven Link to Rocket Lane, so there are a lot of custom objects, right? The custom objects based on the business, they will have various entities, various mappings. So even these custom mappings, the tool's trying to understand now and recommending, okay, so I would say 60% of the default mapping, when I'm talking about default mapping, like accounts, some product is called account, somewhere it's organization, company, there are different names, right? Same thing for the tickets, incidents, cases, there are different entities. It's actually identifying which maps to where, so it's recommending this is how you should map it, right? And even if it is failing, it will give you the error like, hey, this is where it's not connecting, it's not matching the data type, so that we can roll back and it can still secure. It will not lose any data. It will get your confirmation before moving the data or before calling the API to store the data, right? So customers are really happy with this, and even one customer quoted that this is the first time and during a data migration, he was able to sleep peacefully, because it's always a problem, because we miss the data, something is missing, attachment is missing, images are missing. We always see a lot of problems with data migration, but it's reduced. I would say 60 to 80% of the mappings, it's taken care of, transformations taken care of through this AI. There are other two tools we are still building. We are still trying to do a very, I would say, early stages. The configuration Genie, the Config Genie and the Integrate Genie. But even I see a lot of new development happening with the MCP protocols for the Integrate Genie. But from the Config Genie, maybe I can talk more, but we do not have the product yet. We are still testing it, building it. That is taking care of going to during the requirements phase, you look at the customer's incumbent system or existing system, look at all the configurations, look at all the workflows, business rules, and then see how we can do it in this new tool. That is what it's learning, and we need to have more experiments before we can use it. But that is another area we are trying to figure it out, how we can use this effectively. For integration, same thing.